So we got a very warm response from everybody about making a backyard barbecue video series. So we're going to have my dad over tonight. We're going to make some steaks. We will be reverse searing ribeyes. So one of the key things about reverse searing a ribeye, or any steak in general, is you want them to be some thick boys. So those are probably 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches thick. If those are too big, I mean, don't be afraid to share. It's Bella's birthday that we're celebrating, so she's going to be getting a little piece of each one of these, I'm sure. And one of my ideas for this video in particular is, you know, there's quite a few steps to reverse searing a steak already, so I don't want to get too involved with making some, like, I don't know, garlic and herb butter that you would saturate them in and stuff like that. I want to keep the seasoning pretty straightforward. So all that we really have here is salt, pepper, and garlic. That's pretty much my go-to anyways with anything beef related. I'm very much like a tried and true Central Texas approach to beef. So yeah, I mean, coming up to like a few hours before we're really gonna fire up the grill, you wanna get your meat out and you want to season them up with salt. We have these little salt shakers that are pretty handy, but for the most part you wanna use like a kosher salt. So you're gonna go all the way around. You can afford to be quite generous with the salt here. This is a very, very thick piece of meat, so we are not going to be shy about salting them up. These are, by the way, I just got choice steaks. They didn't have prime, but I don't think I was gonna get prime anyways, because I wanna show people that prime is great if you can afford it, but it's not necessary. We're gonna make some really awesome steaks here regardless. So after you got them salted up, I've got them on a rack to kind of help the air get out from under them. These are gonna sit in the fridge for like the next couple hours, 2-3 hours. It's 1 o'clock now. We'll probably fire up the grill around 4 o'clock, so we will see then. All right, now it's been a few hours. It's 3 o'clock now, so it's been maybe 2-3 hours, whatever it was. And we're gonna take the steaks back out. One of the ideas is we're like gradually, like with any low and slow barbecue technique, we're gradually bringing the meat up to temp. And that starts by taking it out of the fridge and letting it come up to room temp or close to room temp. So even before it goes on the grill, we're gonna start that gradual process of bringing it up to temp now. So next we're gonna go out to the grill and I'm gonna get that started. You can see the steaks, there's a little bit of pooling here and there, but for the most part, they're very dry. That dry aspect is gonna help us get like a nice good sear on the steaks after we are done kind of smoking them in the Weber. So yeah, I'll see you outside. We're gonna get the fire started. So step one to lighting the grill is lighting what we call a charcoal chimney. So I have this little like wicker fire starter. We'll put it in the bottom of the chimney and we'll fill it about halfway with charcoal. Inside the, like they call it, a vortex. I'll actually take this off of here really quick and I'll show you what's in there. So I don't have the whole grill filled with charcoal. What we use a lot of times for stuff is this little insert here. So you can flip it upside down and it's kind of a cone shape, or you flip it this way and it's like an inverted cone shape, right? So all of the perimeter of this has no direct heat on it, and that's where the steaks are going to be sitting. So anyways, now that you've seen that, we'll put this back together here like we had it. We're going to fill it halfway with some charcoal. That's close enough. Let me just give it a light. Now also, I have a little bit of wood chips. We're using hickory today. It pairs really well with anything beef related. So I like to soak it in some water, and that'll help prevent it from like igniting or burning up really fast when you put it on some hot coals. So it only needs to soak for maybe like 15-20 minutes. It's going to be longer than that before we're actually ready to start cooking, but it doesn't hurt nothing to just get them soaking in some water. So We'll get the chimney started. It'll be lit up really well, and then I'll come back and show you what's next. All right, so we got all the charcoals cherry red. They're ready to be dumped into the grill. We'll do that really quick. Hopefully this thing isn't like too hot for me to touch right now. It's not. And we're gonna leave that for a while. We can actually put this down here because we will not need it for a little while. We're gonna let that set, catch the coals that were already sitting in the grill, and we're gonna get the steaks seasoned up, as well as we're gonna make some asparagus too. So, all right, so we can get to seasoning up these steaks now. I have fresh cracked pepper. If you're not using fresh cracked pepper, you maybe want to be a little bit more generous than I'm being right now. The fresh cracked stuff is just a lot stronger, right? So. All right, so now that we got the pepper on there, we'll add the garlic powder. The trick to applying any seasoning really is to be up high, because it makes sure that you're really evenly dispersing the seasoning, so don't be afraid to waste a little bit. The stuff is fairly cheap, right? But same idea. Don't forget to season the sides. That would be a rookie mistake. Okay, so with that, we're gonna let these sit a little while longer, and we're gonna get the asparagus started. All right, so we've got the asparagus in a bowl. We've got some olive oil, and we've got our seasonings for the sake of simplicity, and it just works well. We're gonna use the same seasoning for the asparagus as we did the steaks. So we mix in a bit of olive oil. And then salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And then we just mix them up. Get it all spread around nice and even. And then before we get the steak started, we're gonna get the asparagus kind of roasted up on the direct heat, and then we'll put it in like a little tinfoil boat or something and kind of set it off on the side to keep it warm while the steaks are going. So we'll see you outside. Okay, so I put the centerpiece back on where the direct heat is because I decided to put the asparagus on there. Usually I just oil up the grates with something cheap like canola or vegetable oil, but I've already got the olive oil out, so not that big of a deal. Just get some on some paper towel, spread it around really quick. Then we can put our asparagus on. We put the lid on, open the damper and back pretty much all the way, and every couple minutes here I'll pretty much just be stirring them around, flipping them over and making sure they don't get too crispied up. Yeah, get some steaks on here pretty soon. All right, let's take a final look. I like it, less than 10 minutes. They're probably pretty much good to eat just like that. Make a little boat here. So it can still be somewhat open to the smoke and the cooking area. We're gonna get rid of this now. Set it on the bottom. Now with the wood chips, I emptied the water out of it so that they're not like absolutely soaking when I put it on the coals. But we'll just take like a medium-sized handful, maybe a little bit more. Set these guys off to the side, and we'll get the steaks on. One, two. Put the fat closest to the charcoal, kind of protect the meat a little bit. Close the lid. We're gonna put the damper at like 50% and kind of see where that levels us out at. We want to see on here, like cooking surface wise, probably like 250 degrees is fine. This will read a little bit higher because it's up higher in the cooker. It'll probably read like 300 on the dial. So not an exact science to that by any means, but all right. So the grill was a little hot when I threw them on there, but we closed the dampers pretty much all the way. The lower and lid are like maybe a crack open. But let's open this thing up and kind of see how the steaks are looking. So I got an instant read thermometer. We're at like 94, 95 degrees here in the center. I think we're gonna take them up to like 115, 120 internal. This one's at like 85. This one was a little lower. Yeah, this one's more at like 75, 80, something like that. Asparagus, looking all right. We'll give them a turn. We'll come back in maybe another 10, 15 minutes, check them, see how they're doing. All right, I don't know if you guys are getting excited. I kind of am. My patience is wearing thin a little bit, so let's check the temp of these things. Yep, 120. We're pretty much there. So we're actually gonna pull them off the grill for a minute now. They're gonna sit on here. I have another charcoal basket going of some piping hot charcoal. Let's spread these suckers around. I'm gonna put this back on. We're gonna let that center grate get real hot, and that's where we're gonna sear them off. So it's only gonna be maybe 2 or 3 minutes here, and we're gonna be cooking. All right, so I wrapped the asparagus up in a little asparagus burrito, and we are gonna put the steaks on one at a time directly above the coals. Hopefully we can do so in such a way. Yeah, these are big steaks. There's not quite enough room to fit them all directly on top of the coals, but we'll get the job done. They're gonna all sit 2 minutes per side, and then we'll pull them. All right, it's been a couple minutes. We don't really have the flames rolling up like we typically do, but we're gonna give them a flip anyways and just kind of see how that sear is starting to look on the underside. And that does look pretty nice.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
So usually the flames are really rolling up, just burning that fat off the sides of the steak, but honestly that looks good. I ain't too upset with that. So another 2 minutes on this side and we'll pull them off. All right, so it's been another couple minutes on this side. We're gonna probe them and see if we're in the neighborhood of medium rare. We wanna see like 135. Stacy likes them more well, so does my dad. So yeah, we got 140 on this one. 145. 140. So we're pretty much good. We'll pull them here. We'll bring them inside, let them rest for a few minutes, and cut them up and see how we did. All right, so for whatever reason, it wasn't recording and I cut into the steak already. So one of the most important factors into like getting a juicy steak is actually letting it rest. I know we're like super eager and you can't wait to cut into it, but you kind of have to. So when you let it rest and you let it start to cool a little bit and stop cooking, it disperses all of the juices back into the meat. So even though all of these steaks ended up being a little bit overcooked, like for me, I like medium rare. That's a 135 internal temp. This one's 140, so it was most suitable for me. Stacy, my dad, both like. Stacy likes more medium. My dad likes more well done. And even still, these are going to be like perfectly juicy steaks. Nobody's complaining about it one bit. However, I haven't even gotten a bite of mine yet. So let's take a look here. Yeah, and you can't beat that. So as far as I'm concerned, a really simple, easy, and effective method to cooking a steak. Anybody can do it if you've got a charcoal grill at home. Have at it. Give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. See ya. Dad, what do you think? How's your steak?
Excellent.
Yeah? Babe?
Mine's very juicy and delicious.
Bella? Oh, she didn't get any yet. She's ready. Chud always says the official taste test. But, I think she approves.